Hey guys, welcome. Hopefully you can hear me. The microphone's on me. Might look like an idiot, but I don't care. Bless it to everybody. Make sure you smash the like, hit the subscribe button. Apologies for you know, the background and so on. I'm speaking a little bit louder because they do have music playing. Literally, if I go that way, that's the pool, and we have a balcony that looks onto the pool. So they're playing music for people that obviously are chilling in the pool, sat by the pool, sunbathing, and so on. But we're here to talk about Bayern, obviously. I do feel a bit weird having the microphone on my head. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, bless up to everybody. If you haven't checked out the vlogs, um, I'm absolutely sunburnt. Um, I did put sun cream on as well. And the missus put it on me as well. But anyway, we're going to talk about Nkunku. So the transfer of Christopher Nkunku, who is 27 years old, to FC Bayern is threatening to collapse. Now, why is it collapsing? Um, Basic answer, if we're being 100%, would be because Bayern Munich want a loan and Chelsea want a sale. The player wants a sale. The player wants to go um, to a different club on a permanent move, secure his future, so on and so forth. And yeah, Bayern want to get the a loan with an with an option to buy. Now there is also news coming out there today that we're trying to like get a loan in there, but maybe with an obligation to buy. Now, if we can do a loan with an option to buy, that's the best solution for us because then we don't realistically have to have we're basically borrowing him. We don't have to sign him, but an obligation wouldn't be terrible if we can get it for a good price. Now I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's the second coming of freaking Ribery or anything like that. And again I've said it on this channel before. You know, at the end of the day, the way we've got to see it is, buying replacing, yes, cool, they're both French, but replacing a left winger, Kingsley Coman, to, a cam is never really the thing to do. But Nabry seems to be hurt. We need to go and get somebody in anyway. We needed someone before Nabry got hurt. Now we probably need two players. So yeah, a loan with an obligation to buy would be perfect because that basically is you know uh, get it now, pay later. It's not buy now, pay later. Actually, yeah, buy now, pay later. You know what I mean? A Klarna payment. So yeah, I'm not against it, to be honest with you. I'm really not against it because we do need to get a player in there for depth. Christopher Nkunku's agent, Pini Zabi, I believe so you say his name. Holy shit. Sorry if you heard that. Someone out there just slamming the door. Met with Chelsea bosses today on the sidelines of the Premier League game. After that, he had some bad news for Bayern. The current trend of Nkunku, he has a contract until 2029. He will stay in London for another year. Bayern only want to loan Nkunku, while Chelsea prefer Nkunku and Chelsea prefer a sale. So yeah, again, I'm not going to sit here and act like I would like to spend a gazillion. Actually, let's just be realistic. Like, you know, 55, 60 million on him. I believe, if I'm right by saying, Chelsea value him at around 50 million euro, which isn't terrible, but it's not good at the same time. I would like to get him, if we could, try and get him for around £20 million. So that was that, or 30 million. You know what I mean? If we could spark up a deal where we pay later, so get the loan with an obligation, I think that's the best thing for us. But if if we're out of that deal, what do we do? Because it looks like Xavi Simons is going to go to Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea need to sell certain players before they go and get Xavi Simons and Garnacho and so on. So obviously, our season doesn't start until this Friday. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm very interested to see what happens, how we're going to do it, if we're going to do it, so on. But for me personally, I think bringing in this player is a good thing, but for the right price, for the right movement, for the right time. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go and get him with an obligation to buy for fucking 80 million. You know what I mean? That's stupid. So, but yeah, if the deal's off, the deal's off. Personal terms have been agreed. So we don't have to worry about personal terms. They're done. They're done. So yeah, like he wants to come to Bayern. We want him, but we want him on a loan. He wants to, obviously have his future, in there, which I don't think there's anything wrong with personally. I think, wanting your future secure is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that maybe he's not good enough or this or that, in some people's opinions. But at the same time, you've got to remember these people that have partners, kids, families, so on and so forth, they're not going to want to be going here, there, so on and so forth. So I don't think it's a bad thing personally, but let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you think. Smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, all of that good stuff. Um, yeah, it's a very interesting time to be a Bayern fan in the sense that, cool, we just won a Super Cup, which I'm super, super ecstatic with. I was about to grab the badge, but I'm not wearing a Bayern shirt. Super ecstatic that we won it. I want to win more, more, of course, but, you know, we do need to go and get the business done. You got Harry Kane saying certain things in the media, basically saying we need more transfers without saying we need more transfers. Mamono is saying that they had trust in the managers and so on. They're basically saying we need more players, but they're not going to come out and say it because they don't want to get slammed in the media. So, but again, from what's being said, the 27-year-old Christopher Nkunku deal could be off, generally because Bayern Munich won a loan, maybe with an option. Chelsea won a permanent sale. So I think the best bet for both clubs, personally, if Bayern fully want him, is to go with an obligation, because an obligation basically is an obligation. It means you have to buy him. There is no if buts and maybes about it. There's no worming your way out of it or anything like that. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I think he can. Remember he was, I believe, the 2022 Bundesliga Player of the Season. Hopefully, we can get back to that if he does come in. I hope he's not as injury prone. And this is another reason why we need depth, because injuries normally happen when you're playing the player too much. You know what I mean? And in football these days, and it doesn't have to be a Bayern fan, you could be any fan from La Liga, Prem, Serie A, whatever. It really doesn't matter. It's way too many games these days. Way too many games. Remember the World Cup's coming up as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be nuts. But let me know what you think. Again, smash the likes if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you for the constant support on the channel. Let's see what happens with Christopher Nkunku. Again, I would like him at Bayern, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Smash the likes if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. Yes, I'm here. Peace.